Hi, this is Brody Knack with the Politics Professionals for the State of the Race Roundup for the Democrats, as far as the results of the Michigan and Missouri primaries, as well as looking forward towards March 15th, possibly an even more consequential date for the state of this race than, the previous 2 weeks were. So, here we go. Well, it looks like we're going to have a lot of delegates up on March 15th for the Democrats. You know, it's some might see it as unfortunate because of, for at least for Hillary Clinton's perspective, that none of these are winner take all states because there is a lot of delegates at stake. Florida has 246 delegates, Illinois has 182, Missouri has 71, and North Carolina has 122, with Ohio with 159. That's getting pretty close to 1,000 delegates up for grabs. So it's going to be a big day when you got to think about the fact that you only need 2,383 to get to where you need to be for the nomination, and Clinton already has 1,200 wrapped up if you count superdelegates. So to quick go over the results of the Michigan and Missouri primaries, Bernie Sanders shocked the world, as all of you I'm sure have heard by now. He came from a 25% polling average being behind Clinton to a 1.6% upset. Now, as far as practical on-the-ground delegate count, he still came out of the night pretty well behind Clinton because of her 70-point win in Missouri, which has substantially less delegates, but she still came out with, 20 or so more delegates than Bernie did during the night, only expanding her lead. The current lead is at 1,235 delegates to 580, but you got to remember that about 400 of Clinton's are uncommitted superdelegates. So it's a lot closer. It's more like 800 to 580. So, credits where credit's due. Bernie really shocked the world, and 538, one of the best polling firms that correctly polled or predicted every single state in the 2012 race, says this was the biggest upset in polling in basically polling history for primaries. So, well done, Bernie Sanders. You changed the narrative and gave your campaign the shot in the arm it really needed. And, that might pay off. Bernie thinks he's competitive in 3 out of 5 states coming up tomorrow. Those states being Illinois, Ohio, and potentially Missouri. So they're not the biggest ones of the night, but he thinks he's got a shot. Now, to be clear, polling doesn't show him winning in any of these states, but they show him within striking distance. And for Bernie, who can apparently close a 25-point gap given the right circumstances, people are taking him seriously on today. Unfortunately for him, he's behind by 35% in Florida as far as polling averages go. So even if he pulls off a miracle and then some, like he did this past Tuesday, Florida's lost. Clinton's going to get a strong majority of those 246 delegates, which is going to help her a lot. Illinois, people seem to think he has a chance because of the fact that Rahm Emanuel, a big Clinton supporter and chief of staff during the Bill Clinton administration, is very unpopular in Chicago, which is where a majority of these Democratic votes are going to come from. He's got a 27% approval rating, so that's not looking good for him, for Clinton at least. And that gives Bernie a chance in there. Missouri also. But Clinton is expected to have North Carolina and Florida wrapped up because Florida is all primarily older voters and black and Hispanic, which seems like her turf. So, anyway, also he might have Ohio at striking distance because of his trade policies. So, don't be too surprised if he pulls off a 1 or 2% win in Ohio and gets that narrative of, oh, Bernie won 3 states to Clinton's 2, but Clinton will keep pulling ahead in the delicate math. But she can't just keep losing, these Midwestern states. It's not going to look good. It's going to make her a weaker nominee even if she still wins. Some important things to note. Bernie's actually been winning in the spending game as far as ads goes for these past 2 weeks. He's been really dominating in the fundraising, and Michigan helped a lot last week. His ads buys have been triple what Clinton's been doing in most of these states, especially in Florida, where he's been advertising a lot on Univision. And that might help close the gap a decent amount. It's not going to help him win Florida, but if he can reduce that 30% loss by as much as he can, that's going to help because Florida's 246 delegates, which is almost half of everything he has right now in total, over 20 or so states. So predictions for tomorrow, it's looking like Clinton is going to win, I'd say, between 3 and 5 states. She could sweep them all. Maybe not sweep in, a couple of them, but, she could very easily win all 5. And if that happened, that'll probably hit him just as hard as Michigan lifted him up. And that could reestablish this race as hers to lose. So, prediction, she'll win at least 3, I think. She's got a really good shot in Florida and North Carolina, and then between Illinois, Ohio, and Missouri, she's going to win at least one of those. So that's the state of the race prediction. Check in again in 2 days for the follow-up as far as the results for Republican and Democratic sides. I'm thinking of just doing a mega episode where we just go over all of it together. And then we can kind of compare what's going on between the 2 races. Because it is interesting to compare the fact that the March 15th for the Democrats means so much different as far as like what the consequences will be than it does for the Republicans. So be sure to check out the Republican predictions video that's going to be going up alongside this as well. Well, that's about it. This was Brody Knack with the Politics Professionals. Have a good one.